Welcome back to another episode of 5 Minutes in Horror Haven. How's everybody doing? Fantastic, I hope, out there. I just got the cough, no COVID-19 situation. Hope everybody else out there is safe, staying healthy. Shout out Tony Newton, the man, the myth, the legend. How you doing, big man? Today's episode, we're dealing with the letter L, okay? Now, the film brought to you today by me is a film that you may have remembered the original film from way back in the 90s, going so far, those years back. Whew! And remade recently. Now, there were sequels that kind of fell off a little bit, and there was definitely some later sequels that kind of fell off a lot. But the film that I speak of right now is the film called Leprechaun Returns, which, you know, when I first heard of Leprechaun Returns, the first heard that there was going to be a Leprechaun movie, I was a little iffy. I can't lie. I think a lot of people will probably feel the same way about that. The first good news that rung in when I heard about it was the fact that, you know, one of the dudes from the Astronaut 6 team was going to be directing it, and which, if anybody's not familiar with those films, you know, Troma, I think, put out a couple of them, and, you know, they did, like, The Void, which is on Netflix, which is, you know, that's a cool flick, very Fulci influenced and John Carpenter thing influenced feels to it. That's a good flick. We'll probably end up doing that for V, but, you know, one of the guys from that, Steven, let me see here, Kostansky, did that one, and directed that one solo, The Leprechaun Returns, and, you know, it originally aired on Sci-Fi Channel, if I remember correctly, edited it up, but then it later, you know, popped up on the DVD and the full version of it, which is probably the best way to see it, in my opinion. But yeah, I thought, you know, the trailer was really solid, so, like, going into it, you know, you had high hopes, I feel. But it was good. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a good time, so definitely check that out. You know what I mean? I think a great installment to the Leprechaun series, if I do say so myself. There's been a couple questionable ones down the path, and I feel like that this one was a good one. You know, he brought back. I won't tease too much, because whenever you see people from way back, you get, you know, it's good to right when you hit it, right when you get it, not when somebody tells it to you. You know what I mean? But there's some good throwback stuff in there, and it's got some new shit too that's really fun and fresh, and, you know, fun. You know what I mean? Brings the fun back to it. Good gore too. The gore is really good. Our follow-up with L with soundtracks this week might not be the first, possibly the last. The Last House on the Left. You know what I mean? Great film. I think the movie itself super twisted and dark. Because some of the reason behind it being so dark and twisted, I think, is because of the music chosen for certain scenes in it. And another reason why the soundtrack's so great. You couldn't really see this as a picture disc one. I had a slipcover over it, so I'll pop it. But you know, I got some David Hess, the star of it. Krug did some tracks on this, which is good. He was a musician. Rest in peace. Really nice guy too. Back in the early days of Facebook, he was one of the people you could just kind of holler at on Facebook and talk to, and he was cool as hell. But let's check out this vinyl. Speaking of cool as hell, you got kind of like the main little poster theme pick right there. You know what I mean? On the back, the picture discs are always really cool because much like the artwork that they redo. I mean, that's the beautifulness of the artwork, is it's redone, and then the beautifulness of the picture disc is it's usually something older, but like the fact that it's plastered onto a record makes it look cool as hell, like a James Balsamo film. Almost lost my mind there for a second. But yeah, props to James Balsamo. Check out his films if you're not hip to Jimmy Balsamo. One Way Static released this. This is Big Limit Edition, which is nice. 1,203 out of 1,500. I can enjoy that. I sure as hell can appreciate that situation. A record store day release, can't go wrong with that. You know what I mean? So in closing, I'll say check out Leprechaun Returns. If you doubt it, give it a chance. I think you might dig it. I dug it. Don't get too hyped. Hype kills everything, you know that. But check it out if you get any interest at all. I think you'd enjoy it. And Last House on the Left, man. Crazy, dark, twisted movie. Rest in peace also Wes Craven, one of his earlier films. And hell yeah, I'll catch you guys on the flip side like a motherfucker. Later.